in Podcast Detroit, recording live. Prepare yourself for a hoppy drive. If you're chilling at home, pop that growler and just kick back for the next 2 hours. It's the end of the week, so here's to the weekend. It's Better on Draft with Rob, Matt, Nick, and Ken.
And we are live, episode number 216, Better on Draft podcast. Still in quarantine. We got at least another 3 weeks before we can even think about going into a studio. With that in mind, I am your host, Ken. To my proverbial left on the screen that everyone is seeing, we have Nicholas. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you, Ken?
I'm doing really, really well. We had the first night of the NFL draft last night. We picked cornerback, and that's really about it. I was on some not random, I know the person who runs it, podcast, like a sports podcast out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, talking about that pick. So that was quite interesting, to say the least.
It was a pick. That's all I'm gonna say.
It was a pick. I was on a chat, and the other three people were a Pats fan, a Packers fan, and a Browns fan. So
I heard that Aaron Rodgers already blocked Jordan Love on his Twitter account already.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know.
Is Jordan Love the quarterback?
He's a quarterback.
The quarterback that they drafted?
The Packers drafted.
I mean, Rodgers has been here for 15 years. It's kind of, I think maybe they were trying to recreate the same magic they had with Rodgers and Favre that they're doing with now this guy and Rodgers. But yeah, we will see. Probably. What are you drinking?
All right. I'm sticking with my New England or my IPA thing from last week. I got a McKellar Windy Hill. That's their New England. And then I got from Arbor Brewing, Girl Named Egypt. And then I even got my hand sanitizer from Traverse City Whiskey Co. as well. I just had to show that off. That was pretty cool.
All right.
And don't worry, I'm not drinking it.
Well, that's good. You don't want to drink the hand sanitizer. That's for sure.
I'm also not injecting it as well.
It is an alcohol byproduct, so you got to be careful out there. Rob, what's going on?
What is up? Chilling. Making it through, another week, and trying to, they always say that, stay safe. I'm busy trying to stay sane and try to make sure that, everything goes as it's supposed to go in this house, and making sure that the kids are educated and entertained. So it's been another I don't know, just been a so week. Been able to get out for a little bit. Quick shout outs to my peoples, Dan and Lisa Olette. We just did a birthday drive-by parade by their house, so got to say happy birthday to them, and and went and picked up some Jets. I'm a little pissed off with the Jets as closest to my house because they wouldn't do curbside pickup. They would only do delivery, and I don't have a Jets that's in delivery range.
Oh.
So then I had to go to a different one. I was like, you guys just put on a mask and just throw the shit in the car. I mean, damn, just open the trunk, just put it in there. That's all you got to do. But they're like, no, we're only doing delivery. I said, all right, well, I'm going to a different one.
I was going to say, can you deliver it to my car? Outside your restaurant? I would have greatly appreciate that.
I mean, I probably would not have even minded paying the $250 for delivery, even though it would feel like, well damn, I'm paying, like, I don't know, 10 cents a step to bring the shit to me. So, but they said they wouldn't do it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to 7 Mile. So we'll see you later.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do what they want to do. It's their decision based on these different times, to say the least. Dan, what's up? What are you drinking over there?
Yo, what's going on? I'm drinking an Irish Red.
Ask me what I'm drinking.
Doesn't matter what you're drinking, Rob.
Okay.
You're complaining about a $2.50 delivery fee.
I said I would have paid it. I would have paid it.
You're right. You did. My bad. What are you
Okay.
drinking, Rob?
Yeah, Rob, what are you drinking? Everyone in the chat, tell us what you're drinking too.
Yes. Right now, I have cracked open from the good old Ferndale Project, the double white coffee stout, even though, as most of us would say, that it is not a stout because it is not
That is
really
not a stout.
but it is
Don't-
not a
Far
stout.
from it.
No,
I'm-
not
I'm-
even close.
Also, going to be sitting on Ferndale Project's Margarita Goza, which is pretty much every bit like a margarita with everything going on. And then I decided that since I may have just gotten probably my last box from Tavor, thanks to the rules that may have just changed in the state, that I've got the Fremont Coconut Barrel Aged Bee Bomb that I might crack open, but we'll see.
So Rob's like triple fisting it over there. Good to know. Sounds like you're having a good time.
And
Well, that
Get down,
bomber's
get
like
down.
quadruple fisting.
Yeah. So not quite as awesome as Rob. I've just got an Irish Red from Fate Brewing, place you've been to, kind of some of the first breweries I think you went to out here.
probably.
But you guys are ripping on a corner for the Lions. They kind of need a corner right now. I think
I
that's,
didn't rip on a corner. I just
didn't
said
rip on 'em
they
either.
just
He's-
drafted one.
Well,
Okay,
no,
for
just-
me,
maybe
Go
I
ahead, go ahead.
They just
misunderstood.
traded
Nick's
one.
like, it's a pick. Yeah, exactly.
well, so if I could just say this, we've been dealing with it for as long as I have in person. Unfortunately, you just don't take
that's fair.
You just don't take stock in the draft anymore. I mean, look how many years of first round picks that we've had, and how many of them actually panned out. Not very
I'd say Calvin Johnson panned out.
Calvin Johnson, yes. Matthew
Yeah,
Stafford,
what-
yes.
How about Roy Williams or
What about Mike,
Mike
Williams?
Williams
Or
or
Charles?
Charles,
Oh,
yeah.
never
Charles
mind.
Rogers, yeah.
Too soon.
Oh, I mean, you're right, Danny. I hope that Okuda fills the gap that we have in the corners now.
I think Slade jumped the gun running though. He should have stuck around, see what they did in the draft, because the corners would have been probably the best two in the league if he would have been there still.
Yeah, I'm okay. He didn't want to be here. Let him go.
Fair enough.
He's kind of. I met him before. He's a douche.
Is he?
He's a
Ouch.
total douche.
He can go then.
Yeah, Tara and I met him at one of the events that they had at Ford Field. It was a strolling dinner, and you can get everyone's like autographs and everything. He was a total douche. Good riddance.
Probably just didn't want to be there.
Yeah, probably. He was too busy macking on all the girls that were there. That's all he cared about. He didn't care about mingling with the fans. He cared about all the women that were there.
Good
Well,
Lord.
speaking of women, we have one on the show. Wendy, how you doing?
That is the weirdest segue.
That was
Like,
great.
Like what?
Speaking of women, we have one.
We talk
have
about
one.
There's-
Darius Slay being a womanizer.
There's a meme, a photo, a joke that I always love reading, and it talks about being on a podcast and doing segues, and it talks about like a murder podcast, and then it talks about the guys like and he dismembered the body and decided to eat them. Speaking of eating, Blue Apron does. I'm like, oh my, it's the funniest and most podcast thing ever. Wendy, how's your week? What are you drinking?
Well, my no rules order is on its way here right now. So I actually went into the cellar and got a no rules. I'm not sure which year it is because of the labels. I would have to look that up, but
Was that
I
what
thought-
was that was the Silver Ball?
yes.
2018.
Okay.
Look at you, Rob.
Yeah. So it was my last bottle in there, so I'm pretty excited that I have some coming.
Nice.
It might even be delivered while we're doing this.
Oh,
Oh, live
There you
delivery.
go.
hopefully it's cold. You can start drinking it right away.
Now who cares? Just crack it open.
Yeah.
So
It's a quarter, so
I got Guinness and decided in celebration of this virus that we have that there's actually a Corona hard seltzer.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Oh yes.
You should shotgun that right now.
Oh, I'm not sure about you guys, but I've seen so many commercials about that in the last couple of weeks than ever. I mean, obviously it's the best time. I mean, coronavirus.
Hard seltzer or Corona hard
No,
seltzer?
that Corona hard seltzer.
Got it.
It's-
Yeah.
And they
they're-
gotta push it. I mean, there's
they're-
too
oh, yeah, they're-
much.
They're pushing it all right.
There's too much that's going on with, we've already seen all the articles about the sales being down because of just the simple name being associated with this virus, that nobody's buying this stuff. So hell, I mean, if you've got the marketing money, you better do it now while you can, because you're not going to be able to spend that money in about a month or so, because
Right.
you'd be broke.
Well,
Yeah, no
My
kidding.
grandma's sister said that when all this is over, she wants to go and grab a beer with me, and she told me that Corona is one of her favorites.
as
It is.
long as it's on draft, it's better on
Right?
draft for
Ooh.
sure.
There it is.
We've gone through another week. Obviously, we are still sheltering in place. The things that you guys that I always want to bring up: rallyforrestaurants.com. Grab some gift certificates. Don't use them right away. Save them for a rainy day like 6 or 8 months from now. Don't forget to gotipm.com. GOTIPEM.com. If you donate more than $25 to a person in need, it could be someone you know or some random person. Again, it could just be someone that shares the same name as you or same last name, or any reason why you might want to help someone who is not currently employed. Go through everything. If you send us a receipt of that $25 donation, we will send you a Michigan Beer Box hoodie. So, I hear my.
That's me. Hang on, I'm trying.
So go to those websites. We appreciate it, and I know they appreciate it themselves. With that, there is some news that have been kind of flowing around the atmosphere. I don't know if we've talked about it yet, but Oktoberfest is going to be canceled this year. And that's like Germany Oktoberfest, so the Oktoberfest of Oktoberfests. Didn't hear any news about Beerfest. I don't know if that's going to still be canceled, but I know Team USA is going to try to go back and win a gold over there. With landfill number 2. Thank you for the 3 people
Gil.
that got the reference.
Is that his
So-
real name? Gil?
I have no idea.
I think it was. Landfill 2, his name was Gil.
But that brings up the question, and I'll ask it to you guys. Do you think GABF is going to meet the same feat? That is September 24th to the 27th in Denver.
I mean, because Oktoberfest isn't that the last week of September? Or is it like the week before that?
I don't know off the top of my head the official date of Oktoberfest in Germany.
I mean, with it being, I think
It was supposed to end October 4th, so I guess that would be the week after.
okay. So it seems like with everything that is happening here, that everything has been kind of okay. Now everything is canceled for May, and then we're gonna get halfway through May, and they're gonna say, all right, everything is canceled till June. And hell, I just saw an article today about Wayne State saying that it's not very likely that they're going to have classes start in the fall. So, I mean, seeing stuff like that has kind of really given me that indication that they're kind of just postponing the inevitable. I don't think it's going to make it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's not
yeah.
going to be any big gatherings going on here this year. I mean,
Yeah.
concerts, they're talking about mid 2021 at this point for anything happening. If concerts aren't going to happen even in smaller venues, bigger beer festivals aren't going to happen no matter what you do.
Actually, Rob, to kind of add to your point about Wayne State, my sister's going there for her master's, and I think they already got the email saying, don't even bank on coming in here. It's going to be online courses. They've already started it for the spring and for the summer semesters. I'm agree with you, Dan. I agree with you, Rob. Large gatherings. The one thing for me, now that we're in the middle of the NFL draft right now, the next big set of gatherings, football games starting in August and September.
Well, even that, you're already missing out on baseball season right now. We're about
Yeah,
a month into what
yep.
baseball would be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
what,
it's
typical-
about time to cancel the season. If I was anyone on the Houston Astros, I would make sure that they do that, because maybe they might forget about the cheating after a year and they don't get beamed anymore.
cheating. I mean, did you see the fine that the MLB passed out? It's almost worth cheating for the fine that they got.
I didn't see the fine. Was it so little that it was?
It was pointless. They took a second round draft pick for next year's draft. That's about
They
it.
still have the trophy.
And they still have the trophy.
Still have the trophy. It's not going anywhere.
Hey, Rob Gardenhire for the Tigers. Maybe it's worth that you cheat this coming next season.
I mean, think about this. The NHL and the NHL and NBA are still trying to figure out a way to do a season. Do you think they're going to pull this off? I mean, here we
I
are.
mean,
It's the end of April.
the NBA is going to be watched with such a huge eye because they're the ones that had the first cases of everything. They had, how many people? I think like a third of the Utah Jazz had corona at one point.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And at that time, people were wondering how the hell they're getting all these tests. Because I think everyone was able to get tested, and they were joking about it too. There was that one guy that was rubbing his hands and everything over all the mics and stuff. And
wasn't he the first guy to contract it?
Yeah, they announced it like the next day.
Yeah.
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 I mean, well, I'm just saying that like for them to come back, it almost seems like even if they did, like if they did something like virtually, like all of a sudden it's like, all right, let's going to have our players just break out NBA 2K20 and we're just going to have this virtual season, like what basically is happening with NASCAR. Because I heard that they're trying to figure out how to run this NASCAR race.
Yeah,
this
something
month.
big happened with that too, Rob. I don't know if you heard that story.
I know that story. I'm not going to talk about it.
Well, oh yeah, there's that dude too. But I mean, yeah, virtual or otherwise, you shouldn't be dropping that on a hot mic with everybody to be able to hear you. You shouldn't be dropping that anyway.
Yeah.
But and I mean, they were doing the things we're doing virtual races, and I mean, it's like kind of what we're doing with Sporkle Live is where if you have something set up where you charge somebody $5 to log into an account and watch their favorite racer virtually, I mean, you could make some money doing that. I know it's not the same as going to going to the racetrack, but it's there. And that's really just kind of that NASCAR side. With NBA or NHL, I couldn't see them coming back, and if they did try to do something virtually, I don't think that would work. I mean, really, with NHL, I think the only NHL game they should be using is Electronic Arts and NHL. What was it? 94, I think, was the best one for Sega Genesis. That was the best one. So, yeah, I don't know how they can pull it off.
Ice hockey.
Blades of steel. Use little blades of steel.
Blades of steel.
I'm just talking about the old school ice hockey one where you could choose between the skinny fast guy, the large brute, or the middle. Yeah. Those are the days.
Greg Feltner in chat actually brings up something that's very interesting. UFC actually has 3 events being pushed right now and still scheduled, and I think UFC 249 is one of them. They're still pushing it for the first weekend of May.
Well, let's be real about them though too. It took ESPN reaching out to them and telling them to knock it the fuck off with their last one when they were going to try to run a show on some Indian reservation.
Yeah.
And
well, did he buy an island?
Yeah, they're setting up a private island.
Yeah, it was originally set up as a private island, and it turned out to be some Indian casino.
It's Kumite time.
Kumite. Was this blood sport?
Yeah. Just show that everyone wants to watch sports. Just watch blood sport.
Watch blood sport. Watch Frank Dukes kick the crap out of everybody.
Well, I think, and this is one thing that a lot of people are not necessarily worried about, but they're striving, like they need content, because especially come 6-8 months from now when movie sets have been
we're out of movies.
Well, I mean, I don't think we're necessarily out of movies because a lot of the things like the new Fast and the Furious movie is getting pushed to next year. Like a lot of movies are just getting pushed because they can't just go direct to digital for all. You can't spend that much money on a movie and then not have people pay for it. That's the thing. And you're not going to get the amount of money for rights from Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus or whatever, whoever would own that type of streaming. So I think a lot of people they need original content, and there's only so much that you can do. Like there's a lot of people making great content. Like this is more geared towards me because obviously it's the ones that I see, but like Goldfinger has been doing some music, like not all separate, recorded together. Bare Naked Ladies have been doing it. They've been recording a lot of their songs and just having fun with it and pushing out content online. And it's one of those, they have a slogan that they use. It's called isolation, not isolate. and basically meeting, hey, make sure you're talking, you're doing this, you're hanging out on Friday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern, Better on Draft, facebook.com/Better on Draft.
Nice.
Thank you, getting that content. I think Greg Feltner brings up a good point in the chat, and he says, "What do you think about bringing
Ooh.
drive-ins back?" I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
Dan and Rob,
we've
you were
got
there
the
when
one.
that was the only option.
Yeah, back in my day, we used to go, we used to drive and be able to sit in our cars and watch movies.
Hanging out with Danny
Yeah.
Zuko.
Right. You can't tell because I've cut most of the gray hairs, asshole. I'm gonna bring that up with my old ass. We've got the one drive-in movie theater that's over at kind of edge of town, edge-ish of the town.
I just
at
never want
Ford
to.
in Wyoming.
I just never
and
want
that-
to watch two movies back to back. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
and that format has never changed, and it kind of feels like it's something I kind of feel like it should stay just because of you're paying for going out there, having that experience of being out there and just being able to sit in your car and just watch a movie or watch two movies. I mean,
My parents
kinda
always
wish I
looked at
get
it
to
as
pick-
the second movie was free.
there you go. Yes.
I mean, I if there was some type of synergy between the movies and not just style, so action and action or comedy and comedy, like a little bit
Yeah.
more than, throw me, if it's like Fast 9, throw me Fast 8 before Fast 9.
Right. Don't give me Shrek Ever After and then like Annabelle.
Yeah.
Well-
That's what they do, though.
That was the
That
whole
is what they
concept, though,
do.
is that you
No.
take your family to the movies, the kids watch the first movie's kid friendly, they go to sleep, and then the adults get to watch the adult movie.
It's like
At
Zoolander
least that's the
followed
way
by
it used
The
to work in
Departed.
my family.
My goodness.
I mean, it would be nice, yeah, if there was a bit more synergy, and and I guess the other thing is that bringing the theaters back is also bringing a bit more in terms of the concessions, because obviously we're not going anywhere. We're not going to bars. We're not going to restaurants, and the only thing that you're going to have at the drive-in is some candy, some popcorn, some pop. If all of a sudden there's some new wave drive-in theater came up that had some craft beer, and maybe some restaurant food, or hell, allow DoorDash or Grubhub to come in. Not that we want to go through them because they charge too damn much against the restaurants, but have all that stuff. Then
So speaking of
that'd be pretty
that,
cool too.
I don't know if they're gonna still look at doing it again, but the hockey arena over in where USA Hockey is, CompuWare,
Yep, in
Yeah.
Plymouth.
they do that in the summertime. They put up the screens and they've got two
Yes.
different movies showing,
Mhm.
and they have craft beer available. So
I
there's
think-
all kinds of stuff, and they've got pizza and hot dogs and
I wish they had the Captain Crunch chicken fingers again, which is annoying that they got rid of them.
I feel like didn't what's their name make those?
Bobcat Bonnie.
Thank you.
Bobcat
Yeah,
Bonnies, yes.
I said what's
Yeah.
their name, and you knew exactly what I meant.
Took me a second, like Captain.
I was gonna
Crunch.
say,
Like,
yeah,
oh,
I've heard of Captain Crunch. I've made flaming hot Cheetos chicken tenders before. That was definitely
Oh.
interesting. Matt
Yeah.
Bush is saying DeAndre Swift to the Lions. So
Is
I
that
guess
who we just drafted?
That is who you
that's-
just drafted, running back out of Georgia.
There
So
you go.
enjoy that.
carry on
Hey.
DeAndre and yeah, okay. Hopefully carry on doesn't get hurt again. I think we're just
He'll get traded. Watch.
I think we're just striving for more content, and I think a lot of people want to bring it. I know obviously there's a green ulterior motive for a lot of these companies, like the WWE and UFC, trying to make money as well as trying to save money. You can't, when you're running that large of a business stance, you don't have 6 months of funds to handle this type of thing. You're building and reinvesting and stuff, and especially companies that are on downturns like UFC and WWE that aren't making as much money as they used to. But kind of taking from that, and I want to bring up the Maui Brewing. Have you guys seen the news about Maui Brewing?
No.
So
Nope.
Maui Brewing is under investigation by the Hawaiian Liquor Control for giving out free hand sanitizer with the purchase of beer.
Oh boy.
So this is beer that they're making as well as hand sanitizer. I don't know if they're making it or if they're contracting it. The distillery name is different that's making the hand sanitizer, but in Hawaii, along with a lot of other states, you can't just give away things with the purchase of alcohol or the contingency of alcohol. Now, I don't know if the problem is that because hand sanitizer is a alcohol byproduct, that might be a issue technicality wise, but I think it serves as no good deed gone unpunished. So I don't. I want to kind of get your guys' opinions. We'll start with Rob. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Okay. I
What's,
mean, oh my God, it just seems like it's just one of those things where this is just let go. I mean, we're in the middle of a situation where there's a lot of people who still can't get a hold of hand sanitizer, can't get a hold. I was walking the dogs this afternoon and just talking to my cousin who still can't get a hold of toilet paper. I mean,
Jesus.
seriously, that
It's
you're
hard
gonna
out here too, man.
I mean, you're gonna, and I won't even bring up my damn brother who's bitching about not being able to get any fucking potato chips out in San Fran. I'm like,
Oh,
really,
boy.
bro, potato chips? But I'm just like we're in a situation where people can't get stuff, and you know why? I don't understand why even take the time to go after a brewing company because they're handing out hand sanitizer with obviously with a purchase.
'Cause they don't
I
have
know
anything better to do.
right. I mean, with Two James, shout out to Two James and you know what they've done with making hand sanitizers and Traverse City whiskey, which actually I have a bottle.
Oh, you got a bottle too?
Crack that open
I've
too,
got
Rob.
a bottle of the, I got a bottle of the Two
Oh, the
James,
two James.
the
Okay,
Two James
all right.
sanitizer,
Yeah,
which
there you go.
you know they had been handing out the 4-ounce bottles for free. Obviously they're without a purchase, but I still feel like you should be able. You're helping the society right now in trying to curb everything and what's going on, and it's just I don't understand why even bother going after them. I mean, hell, even the USPS doesn't even seem like they're going after people for shipping beer in the mail. I saw a picture of somebody who had their box explode, and
oh,
their box showed up with about 5 or 6 plastic bags that had the exploded cans liquid in the bag and still with the box and like the 3 cans that were left, and they still delivered it.
Jeez.
Damn.
And people are,
Wow.
I mean, right now they're letting anything go through for the most part. I haven't seen people getting notifications, so I'm kind of like, well, hell, if the Fed isn't stopping anybody from shipping beer through the postal service,
Why should
I
Hawaii?
don't think they ever really cared though.
why
I don't
why
think
go
they ever
after them?
cared either.
there are some people that care because remember Matt was getting in trouble shipping MI beer boxes because it said
Just because they had beer on it.
on the box. Even
Yeah.
though there's no beer in the box, because the box said beer, the USPS, there was some specific person, I think he mentioned, a very specific person that just
So
would
it's
not
some
ship.
Poindexter.
Yeah.
Some Poindexter
Well,
at the post office.
Yeah.
I think a lot of not necessarily laws are relaxed, but in this, like in Michigan, I don't know how people are getting away with delivering beer, just straight beer, as a brewery, as a liquor store, anything like that. Now, I feel like the laws have changed a little bit because obviously Shipped allows you to deliver liquor and beer alone from Meyer, and that is an option. So I don't know what the laws have changed from you having to be able. Because remember, Dan, when you used to live in Ferndale and you wanted beer from Embrew, you had to buy food usually with that,
Yep.
didn't you?
Yeah, you had to have a food order with it in order, even if it's just like French fries, in order to get anything.
So it could be based on the laws, the licenses that they have, but really, who's gonna? These people one are sober, so they're driving beer to a place, and you're. I think a lot of people just want to do their best to try to help businesses grow because you don't want some drunk person going to buy beer from somewhere. Because everyone's drinking at home, and to be honest, I think,
Yeah.
and I don't know about you guys, but is your guys' intake higher since you've been home 7 days a week, or
She.
No,
Well,
it's about the same.
three people laugh
No
and nod their
comment.
head. Nick's is like it's about the same.
No, literally. I mean, it's the same because it's the only thing that's really changed about in my normal routine is not being able to go to the office. I'm still getting up at 6 a.m. every day. I'm still putting in 40 hours a week, and normally I don't drink during the middle of the week. Friday nights have always been my drink night. Now, will I say that on Saturdays, whenever we do Jackbox comes up and I'm gonna crack open a few drinks? You damn right I am. As a matter of fact, I did last Saturday. Ken, you and I. You know,
Yes. Speaking
so-
speaking of Jackbox, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it at the top of the show, but I spent a long time today making a very specific game just for Better on Draft.
Uh-oh.
64 hole prompts, so we could probably get through 2 or 3 games before even seeing a potential repeat. So make sure you pay attention. We're going to be starting that game at about 8:30 Eastern.
There you
You're going to be
go.
able to join us. There'll be, obviously, there's 5 of us in here. I'm sure I'll let Matt in, so there'll be at least 2 spots open for the regular, and of course the audience will be open to go through. Now, talking about laws and laxing, what about the people who are trying to run like speakeasies? Like, do you guys, what do you think the punishment is? Like, what laws do you? Obviously, they're breaking the their shelter in place law.
Yeah.
But how do you this might be, I don't know if you guys can answer this question, but how do you punish someone? What kind of fines or something like that can you give them, or jail time or something like that? Because
you're
that's a
talking
health
about
hazard.
you're talking about the health hazard. You're talking about violating the stay-at-home order right in a time like this. I
Hey,
mean,
Dad, can I ask you a question?
you probably get them for quite a few, I would imagine. I mean,
If you feel like going after them.
if you
True,
feel like going after them. Now,
That's the thing.
there's some communities that are not ticketing people. Okay, fine, whatever. It's
Well, yeah,
It
you
is what
have.
it is.
I mean, in Michigan, and not to be hyper local here, but obviously there's a huge counter protest against the governor, including sheriffs who've openly said that they're not going to go after people who are
Right.
breaking social distancing rules.
Well, let's ask our resident West Sider Dan in Arizona.
The west side of the country? Is that what
Country,
you're talking
yeah.
about?
Yeah, west side of the country. So Arizona's under stay-at-home orders right now. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And now
Yep.
is if you've seen people get ticketed for violating the stay-at-home order, or is it?
Not at all.
No,
So-
okay.
It's pretty lax. I live right in central Phoenix, right downtown. So I see things like people obviously drunk swerving literally in front of a cop, and the cop just drives by, doesn't give
Oh,
a crap.
Jesus.
So that if that doesn't happen during normal time, that was before all this. I don't see anything happening during anything else. You see people out all the time. People are on the hiking trails nonstop. They're usually kind of packed.
And as far,
everything's-
I
Go
don't
ahead.
see anything wrong with going on the hiking trail. As long as you're maintaining 6 feet away from everybody, I don't see anything wrong with that.
That was a problem. People weren't. They were like
Oh,
packed.
wow.
So yeah, so that type
Yeah,
of thing.
okay. That's different.
No one really cares. Yeah, it's that order's in place. Everything's closed.
Mm-hmm.
You go outside, it doesn't really look like anything's different though, with the amount of traffic and people everywhere.
Really,
Yeah,
there.
I mean, it's also like 93 out there right now, right?
it cracked 100 today. So first time this year.
Whoa.
there is a lot of people taking photos and going like downtown Detroit and just seeing how dead the streets are in regards to cars during times when
Yes.
it would be bumper to bumper traffic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now there's just absolutely nobody out there. I actually wanted to tell you guys something really funny real quick. So obviously I'm looking for a job, and there is a company out there that I'm guessing changed their name after all this, but they were called Corona POS with a K.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
Especially-
boy.
Why?
especially in this. I haven't applied yet. I'm gonna check. They're actually based out of Vegas. Not that I'm gonna be moving for anything.
That's a place I want to avoid right now.
Yeah, well, they were talking
Oh,
about
no.
Vegas wanting to open up for this, and I don't think we are ready as a country to do that. I think it's
Let's not turn this political, because we're gonna start talking about the mayor of Las
You're about
Vegas.
to say Dan's
well,
right.
not
Hold on, let me get ready.
necessarily.
Rob's taking his glasses off.
it's not necessarily
Get
this,
ready.
but I think the big thing here is to make sure that we want these businesses to be back in 6 months. We want them to exist, and sure,
Yeah.
we're going to
Yes.
accept the inevitable that
Mhm.
we're going to lose a third of restaurants. We're going to lose 50 to 60% of breweries. Like these are things that that's just going to happen. I don't know who, what, where, when, or why. I don't know who's going to, make it past it. I don't know who's going to get an SBA loan, who's not going to get an SBA loan. So there's just a lot of things, but that's why we do the show. We want to provide content for a lot of people, so that they have something to do, so that they don't have to. But here's something funny that I saw. I saw Belgium is easing their shelter-in-place laws. That you can be in groups of no more than 10, but it has to be the same 10 people.
How the hell do you regulate that?
You just, how is that even?
I mean, is this like the wild, and all of a sudden we're just walking around with fucking tags in
Well,
our ear?
They've
Here's-
got little patches on that symbolize that they can be a part
I'm one
of
of the
this
10.
group.
I'm
This
one
is
of the
our
10.
group. This is our group.
Here's
I'm
the
the
thing,
inner
though,
circle.
is that what if your friendship, what if you're the 11th person, like the 11th wheel,
You're
Like
just
it's-
SOL.
5
Yeah,
couples,
but I
and
say,
then
does that 11th person get fined at that point? For
No, that
entering your
11th
group?
person just has to be 6 feet apart, and they're just sitting there like, I'm
Stand 6
alone.
feet back.
everyone's hanging out, and it's the weird guy in the
Yeah,
corner of the
kinda
tailgate.
hovering around where everyone's at.
Mm.
Do you think you could do that, though? Do you think you could limit your social outreach to a single group of 10 people?
Hell
With-
no.
No.
Well, my follow-up question was without hurting anyone's feelings, but if you can't do it in the first
Wow.
place.
Matt Bush comments in the chat. That is one long bike if you have 10 people.
I don't see how that would even be possible to just like pick 10, because I mean I'm basically starting with my family, and right now I mean we're 6 deep in this house, so now I got to pick 4 people outside of that. Yeah.
Yeah, what if you have 6 in your family? What if your friend's family is a family of 5? There's 11 right there. One of the kids has got to go.
Yeah.
We're gonna be sitting there on the playground just picking kids, just like, all right, you.
This dodgeball rules. We snake draft in your top 10.
That may be the most that may be the ultimate social distancing sport. Maybe ESPN should bring that back. And other than showing what was it, about a week and a half ago that they were showing pickleball live.
There is nothing wrong with pickleball, sir.
No. I didn't say there was anything wrong with pickleball. I'm just saying that it was very interesting to be watching pickleball live on ESPN
Yeah.
and it not be the Ocho.
There's
Oh wait, it wasn't on the Ocho. Wow.
There
Okay, all
is that the thing with dodgeball is that you're basically, if you have the virus, you're putting the virus on a ball and beaming people with it. Like you're literally launching a virus at someone by throwing it at them. Do you guys think that they're going to be? Let's. Is there going to be any baseball this year? Do you guys think?
No.
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 Just call it a
it-
season and go to the next one.
Well, I don't
I
know. They were
feel
talking about bringing it down here, but
Yeah, they were.
maybe 115 in about a month. I don't know. if
Wasn't
they wanna
that
play
wasn't that the
outside.
governor? Wasn't it the governor or the mayor who said that, who wanted to host all the teams down there?
It was the MLBPA too talking about it because we have enough stadiums that are all within 30 miles of each other.
Well, that's where
versus Florida.
isn't Arizona? That's where the Cactus League is,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have
So-
spring training down here,
Yeah.
and all the stadiums are closed versus Florida. That's what their thought was. Plus, we have the
Colleges.
where the Diamonds, well, that and where the Diamondbacks play too, down at Chase Field. But it's going to be 115 here. Who's playing baseball outside the middle of the day?
I mean, hey, you got the heat and you got the sun, so apparently that's probably enough to just kill it.
Yeah, okay. I don't think it works that way, but
How about this for a sport, guys? Greg Feltner, World Feather Bowling Championship from the Kaju Cafe.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch that.
of course you
watched
would,
it.
Rob.
You damn right. I watch that shit all day.
Guys, it is 7:40, so I'm going to have you guys mute yourselves. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with the Better on Draft podcast.
I'm headed for the city, trouble in my mind. I'm way too young and pretty for things to be unkind. Time is all we have now, so let's make something while we can. I'm headed for the city to make me start again. Conversation now and then, gotta go, gotta get it. Don't make things go south, baby. Gotta start it to dictate, make it in this life. Time is all we have now, so let's make something while we can. I'm headed for the city to make me start again. Conversation now and then, gotta go, gotta get it. Don't make things go south, baby. People say you get too woken, they just can't find a little soul. Light up a cig and let's get talking, talking that rock and roll. It's more than just a style to play. You can get you what you need, just let it take you away. If you're ever feeling down, forget about the bullshit, dance your worries away. People say you get too woken, They just can't find a little soul. Light up the cig and let's get talking. Talking that rock and roll. Sit right back, relax and chill. Let me lead you on your trip, see how that rhythm feels. Don't let troubles cloud your mind. It's only in your head, you are so mighty fine.
And we're back. Episode number 216, Better on Draft podcast. My name is Ken. And yeah, it's another great evening. What are you guys drinking for round number 2? Let's start off with Rob, since I forgot the first time to ask him.
Rob's still got like 18 beers in front of him.
I would say I haven't even cracked the second one yet. So hold on. Let me just kill this 12%er right here.
I want to say, are you septuple fisting now? Whatever. I don't even know what number that is. I think it's 7.
So I'm going to go with. Actually, you know what? I am going to go with the Margarita Goza from Ferndale Project. So
There you
it's
go.
I was
Get in
gonna
there.
try to go to Ferndale Project here a couple days ago. I had to make a delivery of face masks in Roseville, and I'm like, oh, I'll go to Ferndale Project, get some coffee cider. They didn't have any.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Ferndale, Roseville, they're close.
Well,
Yeah, right
I
by
mean,
each other.
right off of 696.
Oh, I
They-
forget where you're driving from now. Never mind.
they've been out of coffee cider for I think it's been almost 2 weeks now. So hopefully they'll be able to get that back on, because I know that for myself that is definitely one of my favorites that come out of there. But between the Margarita Goza, the other new one, the other 2 new ones, the Blackberry Cardigan, which is their blackberry sour, and their Peanut Butter Volcano, which is their imperial stout, made with peanut butter, cocoa nibs, and graham crackers, has been phenomenal, despite what Matt Bush will say.
Does anybody know how far they deliver?
They do get to Ann Arbor every Tuesday, I believe. I think if
Yes.
you contact them, I think they have a delivery schedule. So you just have to have a
Okay.
specific day you can get it delivered. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely reach out to them. Shout out to Dane, Seamus, Gabe for Will, Shaylin for like all the deliveries and pickups that they've been doing. They have been relatively busy. The last time that I talked to them, they said that they have been very busy with doing the deliveries, doing the pickups. Obviously not only with the beers, but they've got pasties, which their meatball pasty and their butter chicken pasty has been amazing.
I don't know how I
baked
feel about
goods.
that.
They're pretty good. I mean, the last meatball pasty, I think it was good. It just had like too much like rosemary in it. But other than that, it was pretty decent. But then they've got that. They've got they're doing vegan baked goods, which I'm not all about vegan baked goods, so I'm like, I'll leave that to those. And they're actually doing dog treats. So they've got these ferments that I'm doing. Unfortunately, my
Dan
dogs
just got
don't like-
smacked so hard with that pun. I need to clip that and just like make it into a GIF every time. Like you had such the oh my god. You just looking like oh my god.
My unfortunately, my dogs do not like them at all.
Go
It's-
figure.
Yeah, they gotta. I mean, there are dogs that like peanut butter flavor. It's just my dogs are all about beef, pork, and it's not there for them. So I'm looking at people who are walking their dogs around the neighborhood, and if anybody wants any dog treats, I want to give them to them. But of course, in these uncertain times, and they're kind of freaking out, thinking I might have spiked the dog treats with something in them. So, and I will.
People get a
We'll see.
little weird. We have a local group Facebook page, and a lot of people are doing. There's a lot of people that it just feels weird, like when people post open bags of cat food. But then again, I think to myself, well, I've bought cat food for Ellie before, and like after 3 years, she decides to hate this one fucking food, and now I have this giant ass bag that I bought that she won't eat, and I'm like, oh, try to get rid of it, but you can't charge someone for that.
Right.
We bought two really nice chairs actually from a neighbor, and everything's pretty much contactless. Where I put money in a bag, threw it between their doors, took the chairs off the porch, and left. Nick, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Sweet Baby Jesus from Dew Claw Brewing. It's their chocolate peanut butter porter. I think I
Delicious.
still-
Nick
I
likes
like it
peanut
is.
butter. Maybe he might want the ferments.
When I go to get Mad Elf, I usually bring home some extra of that too.
That's
Nice.
that's definitely one to grab on the way,
I
without a
think I
doubt.
stole this from my brother-in-law because it was in the fridge, and I know I didn't bring it, so I think I stole it from him. So I know he's probably not watching right now. He's probably working in one
I
of the
s-
hospitals in Ann Arbor.
I
so-
see it this way. If anyone leaves a beer in your fridge, it is now your beer.
That's true.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, it's not my fridge. Well, I guess my mother-in-law would say it is my fridge. So maybe.
Wendy, what are you drinking down there?
I am still nursing this no rules, but I'm also going to
That is a
open
bomber.
up this.
Yeah,
gonna
let's get
open
through
up
a no
this-
rules during one segment.
Easy enough.
I mean, I can't say I probably haven't done
Did you
that.
want me to talk during the second segment?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Did you want to understand what I was saying?
That
That too.
that probably.
Yeah.
So my friend Jen sent me some 13 Stripes Brewing cans this week. So I've got a Rise and Fight Again IPA from 13 Stripes in Taylor, South Carolina.
Oh, I
Nice.
thought Taylor, Michigan. I was like, oh wow, Taylor,
No, it's
Tucky's.
Taylor, South Carolina. I just thought it was cool that, Taylor, whatever.
I say
little
my
things.
my
Gotcha.
second hometown
'Cause
has
your
not
name's-
progressed that much.
Taylor.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Did at one point live in Taylor too, which I have a friend that will still bring up. Remember that time that Taylor lived in Taylor?
Oh Lord.
Wait,
It's
whereabouts?
little things.
Wh-
I lived in Pickwick Apartments. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Rob's,
cottage
yeah.
inn, the cottage inn on the corner wouldn't
Yep.
even deliver to our apartment.
Oh
I had
my
to go and
God.
pick up
Good.
my pizza.
That was straight because that's Wick and Pelham, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it. I was in Brantford, over at Telegraph behind what used to be Great Scott, then what used to
Okay.
be whatever other grocery stores that were there, and the Little Caesars.
Yeah, that was my first apartment on my own.
Oof. Well,
Dan-
you made it.
Dan,
You
what
made it.
you drinking?
Drinking one of these Oak Creek Nut Browns from
Oh,
Oak Creek,
yeah.
Arizona. Great beer. I know you love it.
Yes, sir.
Actually drove up there last weekend just for fun. Drove there and back just for something to do.
I definitely feel you on that. I've gone like into the car a few times because the weather's been shitty that I haven't been able to ride my bike. So I'm like, I just need to get out and just go somewhere. Like I don't need to accomplish anything. I just need to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, like for me especially because I've been flying for the last year just nonstop, 2 to 3 times a month. So I've been spending so much time in airports, and now I'm just like sitting on my ass. It just feels weird.
Right.
I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything yet. I'm spending 40 to 50 hours looking for a job.
Yeah, it's a full-time job on its own.
Yes, yes, it is. That is for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I've got the Corona Hard Seltzer Tropical Lime,
Oh
Uh,
boy.
rocking in at 90 calories, no carbs because I'm keto.
Bingo square.
This is probably something you could pick up and maybe even get delivered if you're close enough from Zatuna Liquor over in Rochester Hills.
Oh.
Just south of Bay. I was about to say south of Baseline Road, just south of M59 on Rochester Road.
Baseline, we call that 8 Mile.
Go say hi to Jack. Go
We need to get
support
back in
it.
the studio.
He'll deliver with a smile, even though you can't see it behind the mask. Get everything from beer, liquor, wine, cigarettes, if that's your thing. I don't know if you could buy Lotto. Can you deliver Lotto?
That'd be sweet if you can.
Oh, if you
Get a
No,
deal
but you can
free.
buy it online.
That's true. You can buy
That
it
is true. You
online.
can do.
That's how I get my
What?
grandma's tickets.
I was gonna say, as
No,
long
it-
as it's delivered before the numbers come out, because then that would kind of suck.
Yeah.
You just don't deliver the winning tickets, Rob. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
Like the
But- but-
numbers,
People.
you're in the middle of the driving and the person already picked their numbers and you're going to deliver and they win. You're like, oh, this is mine now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Since when
But-
can you buy tickets online for
For a
lottery?
couple of years.
I was gonna say it's
Yeah,
been a
it's
few
been
years.
a while.
You can
Yeah,
buy
right,
scratch
Lotto
offs
site.
online. You can buy Lotto.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember
Lord.
I play tested some of it because Dan
did.
needed some help for some random thing.
Yeah, I
Uh,
helped test all of that. So I forgot about that. You did help out with that.
Yeah, I had to spend $10 of my own money, but they gave me all that money back, and yeah, I didn't win anything on the scratch offs anyways.
Mm.
But yeah, that was a very interesting. Yeah, you could do that. I know they're talking about trying to get online gambling legalized here in the state. I think did they approve sports betting in Michigan yet?
Yes.
think
Yeah.
they did, yes.
I know,
'Cause I know- 'cause I know-
MGM bought that made their sports book before that law even was put on the books.
Yeah.
They're like,
No,
I'm pretty confident that we're gonna, grease the wheel here.
They marketed
'cause-
it as just a bar first, and then
Yeah.
they just as soon as they passed the law, then they started converting it over, and then boom, COVID-19 hits, and
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that
that's
way.
probably
Considering
a-
everything that's going on. Being able to kind of fast track that and be able to do online betting and stuff like that, it's almost necessary right now because
Well,
you can't
Because
go
everyone
anywhere.
has to gamble.
Is
It's
there-
necessary.
Is there
Well-
any states right now that allow for online gambling?
New Jersey.
New Jersey allows online gambling.
I think New Jersey was the first state to allow for online gambling. I think,
because I don't.
Every-
Everything's
start-
legal in Jersey.
yeah, I mean it's Atlantic City and all of that. Yeah,
Wasn't
But-
that after the whole poker thing? The
yeah,
online poker
yeah,
went
it
down?
was because
Yeah, I don't trust any of those random country Dominican Republic websites.
Scotland.
Well, Ken, do you remember the video where we saw them pushing the cards up and pulling
Yeah,
the card?
there's a video of a actual, so they use these weird cards for online gambling with live dealers, so that you could see the cards. That makes sense as to why they use them. So it's not like a standard deck, but they literally pushed up on the shoe the top card and pulled the second card and pulled a 21. It was the
Like playing
craziest.
blackjack?
Yeah, playing blackjack.
Yeah, it was on video.
A third
yeah.
card 21. You watch this video, and this dude he was playing on Twitch or something like that. So he was recording everything. You can go on YouTube, see online blackjack cheating, and you could see this guy figuring out how they're cheating. And of course, you're shit out of luck. You can't do anything. There's no laws.
Right.
Your money is their money effectively. Didn't they make a whole movie about that kind of stuff with Justin Timberlake? I feel like there is a movie about
21, wasn't it?
No, you're thinking of the Kevin Spacey movie.
Oh, it's,
Right.
I'm
okay.
talking about Justin Timberlake was an investor of this offshore poker game. I think Ben Affleck's in it. I'll have to look it up here in the not
That
too
one.
near future. Runner, Matt says. That's it. It was a movie. I remember seeing it.
I was there. I seen it.
I saw it.
I
It was
seen it.
it was a real thing. I swear. Rob, you mentioned that you wanted to talk about something.
Yeah, so I came across this thing. I wasn't sure if you guys had heard about it, and there was this article that really just popped out at me, where it was just basically, it just said Bush beer for a year, and there was this thing going on where couples who had their wedding days ruined by the virus is going to have a chance to win some beer thanks to Bush. They've got this contest that's running where Couples can post a photo of themselves, explain how they're planning to commemorate the big day when it happens, whenever it's going to happen, and use their hashtags. I think it was like hashtag Bush wedding gift and hashtag sweepstakes. So basically, of all of those that were submitted, they're going to pick 250 to be chosen. And although the whole Bush beer for a year, it doesn't, it almost sounds misleading, but then I kind of think about how much Bush beer actually costs, and I guess this makes sense. But it says that 250 are going to be chosen to receive a $300 prepaid debit card that the winner can use to buy Bush beer for a year. Which I'm like, okay, is that just like a case per week? Is that a pallets per week? I don't know how much Bush beer costs. I mean,
I think
I'm not gonna.
how much their beer drinkers actually drink.
No, I mean, I'm not underestimating it. I guess I've never bought Bush beer, so and I'm not knocking anybody who does drink Bush beer. I just honestly don't know how much it costs to get a 6-pack or a case or how much ever that can be purchased when going to the store and buying some Bush beer. So I mean, if $300 is enough to cover for a year, then obviously they're not underselling it, because that's where it is. So basically you've got 250 potential couples that could win a $300 gift card. There's also another part of this where someone could post kind of in their stead, and those people can win something like a $50 gift card and some swag and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, if you then plan on finally having your wedding and you want to have some Bush at your wedding, you could probably use that whole damn gift card and have all of that at your wedding for everybody to drink. So I guess the thing I'm thinking of is this is like, for and there's a guy that I work with who was supposed to, he and his fiance Kate, they were supposed to get married, and they've now pushed it back to 2021. And I was just like, well, hey, here's a contest if you want to go after some beer, and that'll help with it would help with paying for the beer at the wedding. I mean, hell, it'd be something.
And they don't like you. They can't force you to buy Bush, and they also can't give away the Bush itself, so you could buy whatever.
Nope.
But using go on.
Go ahead. Well, I just looked it up, and it's about around $18 to $19 for a 30-pack. So if they're giving you $300, you can get about 15 and a half 30-packs for the year.
Hold on, Wendy. You are
not my wedding.
You are missing two very important things. 10-cent deposit, so that's an extra $3 per 30 rack, and 6% sales tax. So I did the whole math, and you will get 407.6 cans of Bush.
It's more than a can a day. Hell yeah.
You even figured out the cans. But who drinks one can of Bush a day?
You drink like 9 or 10.
I mean,
that's why they sell them in 30 packs. I don't even know if you can get a 6-pack of Bush.
I mean, you can get a tall boy. Yeah, you can get them. They come in that big buck hunting 6-pack thing right now. That like orange and orange and camo can type thing.
Oh dear God.
I'll see if I can bring it up real quick for the.
I got some in the basement. I can show you later.
Why do you have some, Nick?
I don't drink it, Daniel. I'm one of 2 craft beer drinkers in the family.
Let's give me that.
And you just drank the other guy's beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because I just gave him a bunch of Devil Dog not that long ago, so it was a fair trade.
Don't shit on it, because you remember, if you like it, it's a good beer.
Right.
And
I would say.
Hey, Rob, whose slogan is that?
I believe that would be the slogan of North Center Brewing, that's located in Northfield, Michigan.
Now that's a segue.
I mean, you can see it up from
better segue.
Very similar to another slogan I know, but
what is it?
What's that?
No,
Or,
Never mind.
Dan, I know what Dan's gonna say. He's
Was he about to go the whole sex and canoe?
no. He's gonna say,
Ken figured it out.
yeah. Don't drink and drive because you might spill your beer.
Oh gosh.
You do not promote drinking and driving.
Yeah.
No, you just do it at the red lights.
Oh.
You're not driving at that point. Good point. I never thought of that before.
Wendy,
So-
Wendy wanted to post that there's a lot of online courses going on right now. What can people take online?
Oh gosh, I don't have the list in front of me now.
Well, I see
I
that you
just
can do
happened
your
to notice that
serve
there's a lot of
safe.
stuff, like serve safe and a lot of the different like food sanitary courses are going on. I've seen a lot of different groups doing, like last night I did a cocktail mixing class, which was lots of fun. I made 3 martinis, which is 3 martinis more than I've had in a long time. So it was a really fun night.
Were they
Grandma-
gin or vodka? And did
I
Grandma help you drink
So
them?
we did 3 different drinks. We did a cosmopolitan, so we had vodka in that one, and then we did a gin. They did dirty martinis, but I used the gin that we got from Nick the Brewer.
Okay.
So I didn't want to mess that gin up with.
Ooh, I forgot I
much
have
olive
that
juice,
gin. I need to
so-
drink some.
And then we did a one called the Queen of Memphis, which was bourbon and peach and melon liqueur. It was fantastic.
Ooh.
Mine
sounds
wasn't
really
very
good.
pretty, but it tasted delicious.
Like now, do they tell you like what to buy in advance when you do that, so that way you can
Yeah.
have them on hand?
Yeah, so it's through one of the groups that I'm a part of, and they set it up so that it's 4 courses. Each week she does different stuff, and she gives you a shopping list for beforehand. She's trying to do things that you don't have to go to the store for. But obviously, the Queen of Memphis, nobody really has peach juice on hand, so
Is there a ramen-based cocktail?
that one we kind of had to go to the store for that. But
I was gonna say there was a couple courses that I saw that was going on as well. There was one that as far as the group that I'm a part of, I always call the Black Beer Caucus for the culture, and don't initialize that because you might get a little dirty. But there was one. Damn it, Dan.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Are you guys now just figuring this out? He's been wearing the
Heard it
shirt for
before now.
months.
Well, I mean, and the thing is that I mean, the true name with the group is Black Brew Culture, and they had something that was going on as well, where they were doing a virtual Cicerone certified beer server program, and they were normally charging. This thing is normally $69. But it apparently was down to 39, and some of the guys, including our fellow Brews brother Harry Weaver, who jumped in on that class and said that was very informative. And
Yeah, I was gonna say
definitely
maybe he knows what good beer is now.
Oh, don't go
so,
after
yeah,
Harry
I've
like
seen a
that.
lot of Cicerone courses pop up online. A couple of the different groups. Fermenta is really awesome about posting all the different stuff that they have available, not just for the lay person like me, but for people who are in the industry that can be taking their time to learn some stuff while they're not working.
Right.
So for those of you
Chef?
that don't know, this certified beer server, the Cicerone level 1, doesn't require any tasting or anything like that. It's just like an online test. So you can get it. It's the first level. It's when you get into like the actual levels of Cicerone before you actually have to do taste testing and off flavors and stuff. Definitely follow. If you're in the industry, following a lot of these groups, they will tell you when these things kind of pop up and help you out. Especially if you follow Annette May. Because Annette May teaches a lot of the courses that will help you with like off flavoring, especially because you're gonna have to taste those flavors to figure out what it is. Me personally, like I know damn well my palate's a piece of garbage. Like I'm like a 5-year-old when it comes to food. Now, mind you, I do try a lot more things these days, but I still hate them. Michael
But you
wants to
try
know,
'em.
Wendy, are you in your bathroom?
No, I'm
wow.
in my kitchen.
Okay. A very
You were
interesting.
sitting on the toilet? Like,
So I'm not looking at it. If it's that's my uncle, and he knows that we just redid our bathroom.
Gotcha.
oh,
Well, that makes a lot more sense as to why someone asked it, but the content seemed hysterical to not ask it.
So I did also see that there was another issue that is going on, which I feel like it seems kind of obvious with what's happening with the beer world and the lack of beer that is being consumed at stadiums and bars. And that being the fact that we've got all of these kegs that are just sitting around,
yeah.
that no one is drinking any of these beers. So there's all of these, now potentially stale kegs of beer that are starting to come up, and it's like people don't know what to do with them. Though actually, just like real quick, just a shout out to Griffin Claw, because Griffin Claw Brewing, they had actually put up a post, I think it was this past week, where they started buying their kegs back so that they could take their beer and have it distilled to create more hand sanitizer, because those guys have been really going into that hand sanitizer game and really helping out the Metro Detroit area with that, and getting that into hospitals, fire departments, police departments, and all of that. But for everybody else and these other places, that they've got these kegs that are just sitting around. So other than clearly getting it to buying it back and get it to some place to get it distilled, what should these breweries and bars and stadiums really do with all of this beer before, to try and get something out of it?
I mean, some of the beers are probably just gonna go bad. Like anything that's probably, there's depending on what the laws are per state. Look at Olympia Entertainment. Like they might be able to move things around and do something special between their restaurants, their bars, and events. So, because I think Olympia Entertainment has what do they have? They have the Pizza Arena and Tiger Stadium. As well as they own most of that whole Foxtown area. So they could probably move the beers around for different ideas, thoughts, and concepts that might come out in the next couple months when we start allowing more, getting out in the world. But I think in the end, like the beers, like the amount of kegs that go through probably for a Detroit Lions game, I can only imagine how many beers get sold at a Detroit Lions game that won't happen, or at a Tigers game. Hell. Even if you're filling just 10,000 a game, 10,000 people have all on average bought one beer, 10,000, 160,000 ounces of beer times 82 games, 81 games. There we go. That's the right number. I'm not going to include playoffs because it's the Tigers.
Damn.
Matt Bush says Olympia can't legally move the beer around. I think maybe right now they can't. I think there's going to be a lot of different laws and rule changes. We were kind of seeing that with the MLCC.
Yeah.
The MLCC was changing a lot of laws here in the state of Michigan.
The whole Midwest has been changing their laws. I mean, you look at, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Wisconsin, they have been really getting more lax with their laws and letting breweries be allowed to do the things like delivery and curbside pickup.
So our map artiste, we'll call him Bill Carney. If you go to mibeermap.com, but he said that he's a partner in Cleveland Whiskey. For those of you, I think you guys know too, Bill is huge in, he's like a professional rum taster and a professional rum judge. Where like he goes to like the Caribbean and shit to do rum competitions and judge them. But he was talking about that Cleveland Whiskey is collecting stale beer, redistilling it to donate it to the Cleveland Clinic as sanitizer. There was apparently a GABF style thing in Cleveland this month, so I'm guessing there was some type of beer festival in Cleveland in the month of April, and all the beer was donated for redistilling.
Shout out to them, man.
Nice.
So that
real quick with Nick, real quick with that Traverse City whiskey sanitizer, does it smell like you shouldn't be driving when you use it?
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Okay, I just want to make
Like-
sure because
like
I got the 2 James stuff and it's like pretty damn strong.
no, it is. So the reason why I got it is because you can't find hand sanitizer anywhere. And shout out to all these distilleries and all the breweries that are stepping up and making this stuff for the front line and for people like for us, for example. So I haven't found a bottle of hand sanitizer on the shelves anywhere in probably well over a month now. So that's
Same.
why I got this. So I actually opened it up for the very first time because I haven't gone anywhere to actually use hand sanitizer. And I caught a whiff of this stuff yesterday, and all I can say is, holy shit.
So
It is
if
strong.
you have time, Detroit Bus Company out of
Oh
Detroit
yeah.
is actually making hand sanitizer. You want to talk about government working fast as fuck for all the licenses that they got to be able to like take in like train sized
hmm
containers of isopropyl. Yeah, they definitely busted their ass to get this through. Definitely go check out Detroit Bus Company. Donate if you can. They're giving it away. And if you go and you donate your time to help bottle all of the hand sanitizer that they're doing over there, you can actually buy at cost hand sanitizer from the ones that you are making.
Bill's talking about Sanctuary
Nice.
Spirits, so his local distillery, also doing it for the local folks out on his side of the state. So
That is
Sanctuary Spirits.
That is awesome. We got about a minute before we take a break. Nick, what are you showing?
I was just showing.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus. Man.
Okay.
Dude, I mean,
doing
come
there,
on.
Nick?
I mean, dude, what is this? The 4th or 5th week we've done this? We're all losing it right now.
Hey, speaking of, we're not all losing it because I'll tell you right now, as far as what I'm looking at on the screen, I believe I'm the only one with 4 kids in the house.
I mean, I have 3 cats. Does that count?
No, that doesn't count.
No.
Okay.
I got one schnoodle who's good, who's big, who's just as bad as 3 kids.
Yeah, your
Three.
schnoodle left
Please.
a scar for life on my hand.
Yeah, I know. Sorry
I
about
got a
that.
gram.
I got a gram.
Yes. Winnie's got grandma.
Oh, I knew she had grandma. I thought she just had a gram of the nose candy.
No, I call her
Shit.
gram.
That's
Just
what
turned
kid.
into a whole different show.
What? is
Exactly.
going on here?
What?
The
You know,
struggling podcast is
They always
getting
say
better
if you
out
can
here.
spend 20 minutes or 20 seconds doing cocaine, you can spend 20 seconds washing your hands. And we're gonna play some Jackbox when we come back.
Oh boy.
So grab out your phone. You're gonna be able to join us in the audience. We'll be back
Is
in
this gonna
about
work?
10 minutes. I'll have everyone mute them, and you'll be right back with the Better on Draft podcast.
Mama, please don't make me go. Yeah, I don't wanna go so far from home. Yeah, it's got me riding that wave. I got my money where my mind is, and I like it that way. Ha! You pick me up when I'm down. I sniff you up. It takes me all around. You pick me up when my feelings are down. I sniff you up. It takes me all around. Yeah. I know that you're feeling this way, but please takes me on.